Episode 1. Blood of the Elder. The city coughed dust into the night, stones falling like loose teeth from a dying jaw. Everlyn led the way through the ruins, Kane pounding at her side, Lira close behind. They weren't just running from death. They were running from something older. Something that had been waiting. Broken stairs descended into a cavern carved beneath the rubble. The air thickened as they entered, heavy with the weight of something ancient. And there, in the dark, he stood, the last of his kind, the final keeper of the bloodline. Moonlight dripped through cracks above, silver bleeding across his shoulders. His eyes burned with centuries, hollow but unbroken. Kane froze, chest heaving. What is he? Not what, Everlyn answered softly. Who? The elder raised his claw. His chant rumbled low, grinding like stone against stone. The sound made their bones ache. All three faltered, knees nearly buckling. With one slow motion, he dragged his claw across his palm. Blood welled, black and thick, dripping onto the floor with a hiss. Drink, he rasped. Everlyn stepped forward first. If it kills me, she began. But the elder pressed his hand to her lips before she could finish. The blood scorched her throat, searing fire through her chest. She gasped, staggering, but her body did not break. Her eyes flared gold, blazing in the dark. Kane gritted his teeth. If she takes it, so do I. He drank deep. The blood hit him like poison. He coughed violently, falling to one knee. Then his body steadied, his eyes igniting sapphire blue. Lira shook her head, trembling. No! This is madness! The elder seized her chin, forcing the blood to her mouth. She choked, tried to spit it out, then swallowed. Her body convulsed, veins glowing red-hot. Her eyes burned crimson, fire catching in her gaze. The three rose together, transformed. Everlyn's golden eyes glared defiant. Kane's sapphire blaze burned steady. Lira's crimson fire cut sharp through the dark. The elder smiled once, faint, proud, then collapsed. His body fell lifeless to the stone, his bloodline surrendered. Kane's voice was low, uncertain. He's gone. No, Everlyn said, her breath steadying. He's here. In us. The silence broke with a howl. Kane threw back his head, his roar shaking the cavern. Lira joined, her cry sharp and fierce. Everlyn lifted her gaze last, her golden fire blazing as her voice split the night. 3 voices. 1 legacy. The elder was gone. But his blood lived on, and the world shuddered. Episode 2. The Wolves Rise. The elder's body lay still, already fading into dust and silence. Everlyn, Kane, and Lira stood in the chamber, breaths ragged, veins burning with the weight of his blood. Their hearts hammered with a rhythm that wasn't fully theirs. The stone above them cracked. Dust rained down. Shapes dropped through the breach, tall, jagged silhouettes landing heavy on shattered stone. The Xarthans. Their armor gleamed with alien sheen, blades glowing green with a low hum that set teeth on edge. One tilted his head, crystalline voice cutting the dark. The last elder falls, and vermin rise in his place. Kane's sapphire eyes narrowed. His growl rumbled deep, rolling through the cavern like a warning. Not vermin, he said. Hunters. The aliens laughed. The sound was brittle, glass breaking underfoot. Then they charged. Kane hit first. He crashed into the front rank like a landslide, claws raking armor, jaws crushing through steel and sinew. Lira was smoke and fire, darting past him, every strike precise, every cut final. She slid between 2 Xarthans and carved their throats in a single breath. Everlyn tore into another, claws screeching against plasma. Sparks burst. Her golden eyes flared as she drove the creature back, until its blades slipped past her guard. It stabbed deep into her side. Kane's roar split the chamber. He saw her stagger and hurled himself toward her, ripping one alien in half just to reach her. But before his claws could close around her, Everlyn straightened. The wound sealed, skin knitted. Blood vanished as if the strike had never landed. Her chest rose once, steady, defiant. Her golden eyes burned hotter. Kane froze mid-lunge, shock cutting his rage. "You healed," he whispered. Lira faltered too, crimson eyes wide. "That's not possible." Everlyn's voice was calm, almost cold. "It is now." Fear rippled through the Xarthans. Their laughter faltered, their glowing blades wavered. Kane turned back on them, his sapphire gaze blazing. "Now, your prey." He slammed into their ranks, fury drowning the shock. Lira carved through their flank, crimson fire searing arcs of death. The chamber filled with screams, cut short and sharp. Ichor sprayed across stone walls, glowing faintly before fading to black. One by one, the aliens fell. Blades guttered, bodies dropped. When the last Xarthan hit the floor, silence pressed heavy again. Only the wolves stood, blood-slick, eyes burning, immortal, untouchable. Everlyn lifted her head and let her howl rise, fierce and defiant. Kane's voice thundered beside hers. Lira's cut sharp through the dark. 3 voices joined as one. The wolves had risen, and nothing would put them down. Episode 3, The First Hunt. The chamber still stank of blood when they climbed from the tunnels. Moonlight cut the tree line above, painting the night in pale silver. Everlyn raised her head and froze. Across the clearing, a line of prisoners stumbled under Xarthan guard. Chains rattled, shoulders slumped. Mothers dragged children by the hand. Men bowed beneath rifles that hummed with green fire. Kane's lips pulled back over his teeth. Slaves. Lira crouched low, eyes narrowing. "Not for long." They slipped into the trees, shadows folding around them. Every step was silence. Every breath was measured. Everlyn's golden eyes caught the glint of armor ahead. "We take them fast," she whispered. "No warnings. No survivors." Kane's growl rumbled deep. Finally. They waited for the moment, then pounced. Kane struck first. He tore through the tree line, his weight slamming into the patrol like a storm made flesh. A mounted turret whined before it could fire. And he ripped it free, metal screaming in his grip. The Xarthan staggered, glass voice shrieking in panic, before Kane brought the turret down like a hammer. The sound of armor shattering echoed through the trees. Lira darted past him, a crimson streak. Her claws found throats, tendons, weak points in armor. She moved like smoke, here, then gone, leaving only bodies behind. Everlyn tore through the center, her claws screeching against plasma, sparks flying in the dark. The aliens struck back, but they were too slow, too rigid. Their laughter broke into gasps, their confidence cracked. One Xarthan shouted, voice splintering. "What are you?" Everlyn drove her claw through its chest and hissed back, "The end of you." The last guard dropped to its knees before Kane ripped its head away. The forest went quiet. Only the wolves' breathing filled the dark. Lira turned to the transport, claws glowing faintly red with stolen blood. She tore the doors open with a screech of metal. Inside, prisoners gasped, their faces pale with terror. Children shrank behind their mothers. Men lifted chains, as if to shield themselves. They didn't know whether the wolves were salvation, or something worse. Everlyn stepped forward, her chest rising steady. Golden fire dimmed from her eyes as her body shrank back into human form. She wiped blood from her mouth, lifted her chin, and spoke clear. "It's all right," she said. You're safe now. The words wavered in the air, too fragile against the carnage around them. One prisoner's voice cracked. Safe? With monsters? Kane's growl rolled through the clearing, low and dangerous. His sapphire eyes pinned the man in place. But before the fear could spread, Lira stepped from the shadows, crimson fading as she returned to her human form. Her voice was calm, but sharp as a blade. If we wanted you dead, she said, you'd already be. Silence. Chains clinked as prisoners shifted uneasily. Another voice broke it. A young man, bloodied but defiant. Who cares what they are? They killed those pigs and saved us. I'm with them. Murmurs rippled, some fearful, some hopeful. Then, a horn blew in the distance, a deep, hollow call that turned spines to ice. Everlyn's head snapped up. Her voice cut the air like steel. You can doubt us later. But right now, we move. The prisoners hesitated only a breath longer before following. Chains rattled as they stumbled into the tree line. Behind them, the forest trembled. From the shadows rose a figure heavier, darker, an armored Xarthan leader. His blade flared to life, green fire humming with hate. His voice was jagged, glass cracking under weight. I swear vengeance. Episode 5. The Subbase. The ruins above were silent, too silent. Everlyn led the way, boots crunching glass and dust. Kane stalked to her left, sapphire eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Lira flanked on her right, small but sharp, crimson streaks in her hair catching what little light slipped through. Behind them, the rescued prisoners stumbled, rattling chains with every nervous step. They reached the iron doors buried beneath rubble. Everlyn slammed her hand on the panel. The locks groaned, then opened with a shudder. Stale air and the hum of old generators rolled out to meet them. The tunnels swallowed them whole. Inside, her remaining unit waited. Soldiers battered, hollow-eyed, weapons clutched too tight. Their gazes snapped to Kane and Lira, then froze. The room went silent. One soldier sneered. What the hell is this, Captain? You dragging strays back now? Another pointed at Kane. Looks half dead already. He jabbed a finger toward Lira. And this one's a child. 5 feet, if that. You want us to babysit them? Chuckles rose, thin and nervous. Everlyn's voice cut through them, sharp. They're with me. That's all you need to know. But the laughter lingered. One soldier leaned on his rifle, smirking. Easy there, little wolf, he said to Lira. Don't bare those teeth at me. You don't scare. He never finished. Lira blurred forward, her hand snapping around his throat. Crimson fire flared in her eyes as she lifted him off his feet and slammed him hard against the wall. The chuckles died instantly. Still think I'm small? She hissed, voice low and sharp. The soldier's boots kicked helplessly, rifle clattering to the floor. Around them, other soldiers raised their weapons, half ready, fear shaking their grips. Kane growled, a sound that rolled like thunder through the chamber. His sapphire gaze flared, daring them to fire. Everlyn stepped forward, golden eyes flickering. Stand down, she ordered. You don't know what you're pushing. The soldier in Lira's grip choked, face red. Everlyn's tone sharpened. Lira. Let him go. Lira's eyes burned a moment longer, then she dropped him. He collapsed in a heap, coughing, clutching at his neck. The medic rushed to his side, glaring up at her. What the hell are you? Lira's lips curled. Something you're lucky is on your side. Everlyn's gaze swept the room, cold and unflinching. You fear them? Good. Fear will keep you alive. But remember this. They're mine. Anyone who challenges that challenges me. Silence settled, heavy as lead. No one dared laugh now. Above them, somewhere distant, a shriek echoed through the tunnels. Motion sensors screamed to life, alarms flooding the corridors in red. They'd been found. "Contact!" a corporal shouted, panic cracking his voice. Everlyn turned on her heel. "Positions!" Now! The room exploded with movement. Soldiers slamming clips into rifles, dragging crates for cover, shouting over each other. Panic made their voices shrill. "They led them here!" someone yelled, pointing at Lira. "They tracked them!" Everlyn's voice snapped back like a whip. "Enough! You think the Xarthans need help finding us? They've been hunting longer than you've been breathing. Hold your ground or get out of my sight." The alarms kept shrieking. Dust shook from the ceiling. Lira glanced at Everlyn, her voice low but steady. "If they breach, this place will collapse in minutes." Kane bared his teeth, claws flexing. "Then we stop hiding." A soldier near the door spun, face pale. "If you change here, you'll kill us all." Everlyn's golden fire flickered behind her eyes. Her tone was ice. "Then stay out of the way." The walls shook with a deafening roar as stone split and dust poured in. The siege had begun. Episode 7. The Siege. Dust filled the chamber, and through it came the Xarthans. Tall, jagged figures in powered armor, blades humming with sick green fire. Their glassy voices shrieked as they poured through the breach. "Contact!" a soldier screamed, and rifles erupted. Bullets sparked against armor, muzzle flashes strobing against red lights. Kane didn't wait. His body shifted, bones snapping, fur bursting through skin. The wolf was already there before the soldiers could blink. A massive beast slamming into the front rank with a crash that shook the ground. One Xarthan's blade sparked against his hide. Kane tore the creature in half, sapphire eyes blazing. Lira blurred forward, her body folding into her wolf form mid-stride. Small, fast, lethal. She slipped past Kane's bulk, claws carving through throats and tendons. Blood sprayed the walls in ribbons of black-green. Everlyn's chest rose once, slow and steady. Then the Alpha came. Her golden blaze ignited as her body expanded, claws flexing, teeth bared. She roared as she hit the breach, smashing two Xarthans into the wall with a force that cracked steel. Behind them, soldiers froze in awe and terror. One muttered under his breath, almost reverent, "God, I think I'm in love." The chamber became a slaughterhouse. Wolves tore through armor, soldiers fired from cover, the air filled with the stink of ichor and gunpowder. Bodies fell in heaps. Blades guttered out. The red lights strobed faster, alarms screaming above the carnage. And still, more shadows gathered outside. A second wave. Stronger. Heavier. Everlyn stood blood-slick, chest heaving, golden fire blazing. Her claws dripped, her eyes locked on the breach as the next roar shook the earth. "This isn't over," she growled. "It's only beginning." Episode 8. The Second Wave. The chamber reeked of blood and burning metal. Bodies lay scattered across the floor, Xarthan ichor pooling black and thick under the strobing red lights. Soldiers clung to their rifles, some shaking, some staring at the carnage like it couldn't be real. They'd seen battle before, but never this. A young private whispered, voice cracking. They're monsters." Corporal Hayes snapped back. "They're the only reason you're still breathing." Before anyone could argue, the ground shuddered. The breach widened with a groan that rattled every bone in the room. Dust poured like ash from the ceiling. The second wave arrived. Armored Xarthans, taller, heavier. Their blades humming louder, their steps shaking the floor. At their center came one wielding a double-bladed staff, its green fire roaring with alien fury. The soldiers faltered. Some raised rifles, Some didn't move at all. Everlyn stepped forward, golden blaze flaring bright. Her voice was steady, carrying above the panic. "Hold your ground. Behind us, you're safe. With us, you live." Kane snarled, claws digging furrows in the stone. "They're not ready." "Then we make them ready," Everlyn growled. The Xarthans shrieked, laughter like glass collapsing in a furnace. Then they charged. Everlyn hit first, claws sparking against the double staff. The force rattled her bones, but she held, golden fire blazing in her eyes. Kane slammed into their flank, ripping one clean off its feet and tearing armor like paper. Lira darted past them both, her crimson blur slicing through tendons, her claws finding every weak seam. She moved like a shadow with knives for hands. Behind them, the soldiers opened fire. Muzzle flashes stitched the dark. One screamed, "Cover them! Don't let them fall." The chamber became chaos. Wolves and men fighting side by side, every breath choked with dust and smoke. A soldier went down, Xarthan blade tearing across his chest, only for Lira to leap between, shredding the alien before it could strike again. She hissed, crimson fire blazing in her eyes. "You don't touch mine." The second wave broke harder than the first, but for every Xarthan that fell, another pressed in. Everlyn's claws locked with the staff, sparks raining across her face. The alien leaned close, crystalline voice jagged. Moon touched. "We'll grind your pack into dust." Her growl rumbled low, primal. "Then start with me." With a roar, she wrenched the staff aside and drove her claws into the creature's chest. Black ichor sprayed, sizzling, on the stone. The soldiers shouted, voices breaking with awe and fury. Some still feared, but many finally fought, not just beside the wolves, but for them. When the last alien hit the floor, the chamber was a ruin of smoke, ichor, and silence. Everlyn turned to the soldiers, blood dripping from her claws, golden fire dimming but unbroken. "You've seen what we are. Now decide. Do you stand with us, or die alone?" Episode 9, Blood and Oaths. The subbase looked like the inside of a wound. Stone cracked open, ichor pooled black, red emergency lights pulsing like a failing heartbeat. The guns were quiet now, but the silence wasn't peace. It was suspicion waiting to sharpen. The soldiers clung to their rifles, some with awe in their eyes, some with fear, some with both. Every gaze fixed on the three wolves. Everlyn stood in the center, golden fire dimming but steady. Kane prowled to her left, a wall of muscle and sapphire flame. Lira leaned against a fractured pillar, crimson eyes cutting the room apart with every glance. Corporal Hayes broke first. "Captain," he said, voice dry, "what are we now?" "Alive," Everlyn answered. "And not by accident." A boy, too young to be hardened yet blurted, "They're monsters." Kane turned his gaze, slow and deliberate. His growl rumbled like distant thunder. "We're the reason your lungs still work. Monsters don't save prey." The medic stepped forward, blood staining his sleeves. His words carried weight. "Captain, are they under your command?" Everlyn's eyes didn't flinch. "They're under my protection." "That's not. It's the only answer that matters." The room bristled. Fear, mistrust, old instincts chewing at the edges. Everlyn drew her combat knife, slid the blade across her palm, and let the blood run red. "This is an oath," she said. "Not a trick. Not a story." An oath Kane followed, claw across his palm, his blood thicker, darker. Lira did the same, crimson glow flickering with her wound. "Anyone who stays under my command," Everlyn said, raising her bloodied hand, "stays under theirs. You want out, walk Now. You want in, bleed with us, silence. Then Hayes stepped forward, cut his palm, pressed it to hers. Corporal Hayes, I swear, one by one, they came. Blood met blood. The table became a ledger of loyalty written in red. The final hand had barely left Everlyn's when the sound came. The unmistakable click of a rifle chambering. A soldier at the edge had raised his weapon. The barrel aimed squarely at Lira's back. "You'll damn us all!" he roared. The shot cracked. Kalen moved. The young private, blonde hair wild in the strobe light, face still too soft for war, threw herself into the line of fire. The round sparked harmlessly against stone. It would never have killed Lira. But Kalen hadn't known that. She'd chosen to put her body between wolf and bullet. Lira spun, claws flashing, ripping the weapon aside. She seized the traitor by the collar and hurled him across the chamber. His body slammed against the wall, rifle clattering into silence. Kalen stood trembling, breath ragged, fear etched across her face. But she hadn't moved from her spot. Lira's crimson gaze fixed on her. "You die for her," she said. Kalen swallowed hard but kept her chin high. "I'd die for my captain." Lira smirked, sharp as a blade. "Then you'll live for your alpha." She dragged her claws across her palm. Blood, welling thick, and black red. Without hesitation, she seized Kalen's jaw and pressed her palm hard against the girl's mouth. Kalen gasped, tried to resist, then swallowed. Her scream shook the chamber. She fell to her knees, back arching, veins glowing molten under her skin. Bones cracked, eyes rolled white, then snapped open, burning crimson fire. She rose unsteady, blonde hair falling across her face, beauty untouched, but now sharpened by something feral beneath. Her hands curled, claws splitting skin. Fangs flashed as she breathed out, half laugh, half snarl. Lira stepped back, pride burning in her eyes. She chose loyalty. That deserves more than death. Everlyn's golden gaze lingered, unreadable. She's yours now. But remember, there is only one alpha. The soldiers recoiled, some horrified, some awestruck. But none could deny what they had seen. The pack had grown. Not through fear, but through loyalty rewarded with blood. The overhead speakers screeched. Static bled through. Then a voice slid out. High. Wrong. Crystalline. As though glass had learned to mock. "Captain Rhodes," it rasped. "Your small rebellion gnaws. We applaud the noise, every rifle turned upward. Useless." Kane stilled. Lira's smirk vanished. Kalen's new crimson eyes narrowed. "Return our prisoners," the voice dripped, "and lay down your teeth. We will make your ending efficient." Hayes barked toward the ceiling. "Who is this?" Everlyn lifted her chin. Her voice cut clean. "This is Captain Rhodes. Tell your council to bring a broom. They're leaking silence." Then a laugh. Brittle. Glass shattering mid-applause. The line went dead. Jace whispered, pale. "They know your name." "They know our teeth," Everlyn answered. She pressed her scarred palm to the table, smearing the blood oats across its surface. "Now, they know our oath." "Form up," she ordered. "We move in 10. Kane stepped to her shoulder. "Alpha." Hayes followed, steady. "Captain." Lira's smile curved again, small and sharp. She nodded toward Kalen. "Pack." Kalen grinned, crimson eyes burning in her beautiful face. "Ready." Above them, unseen, a Xarthan beacon stirred to life. A warship hummed awake, its shadow stretching wide across the broken city. The galaxy had heard the oaths, and in the dark, it smiled back.